open up the controller and you look in here, we've done this before on other videos. This is the guts of the system, obviously. There is a label for each station in here, for each one of these stations. And one of them is labeled P/MV. What that means is pump master valve. And for systems that are running off wells or running out of lakes, you do not want your pump to run when the system's off. It damages the pump because it's pushing pressure against a closed, basically, wall. The valve is a closed wall, and it causes the pump to do something called deadhead. So in order to stop that, when the controller comes on at all times, it puts 28 volts on that master valve connection right there, which sends a relay signal out to the pump relay. It sends voltage out the pump relay and it turns the pump on so it can pump out of the lake or out of the well. As soon as this controller goes off automatically, or you turn it off, either way, it drops that voltage out. So what you did in effect by putting that valve down there, this green wire was a spare wire that he happened to have. He got lucky. I didn't have to run him all new wire. All I did was install that there and use that feature. This thing has no clue whether it's running a well or anything. I mean, obviously it's just a piece of equipment. So it now turns that valve on and makes his main line live, but only when the system's running. So it doesn't hurt anything. When the system's running, it's using water anyway. But when the system is not running, it is no voltage here, and so it's off down there, which means he doesn't have a leak anymore. So it's a good way to run a sprinkler system. I mean, you know, it's a good idea to put them in for anyone, but most contractors don't put them in. They're just more money, more wire, more equipment, but it does solve a lot of times leak problems. So that's what we did for him, and he's very happy with it. And now the other part of it is, I was telling him when we were discussing the cost benefit of it, if another leak were to develop, let's say I found a leak today, but if a contractor that did the job didn't do a very good job of pipe fitting, and on this system I noticed they use thin wall pipe on the main line, which I don't use. I use Schedule 40, which is much thicker. But no matter what kind of pipe you use, if your pipe fitting techniques are poor, you're not using primer, etc., that's where you get most of your leak, is on your fittings. So let's say we found it and fixed it today and it cost him a good bit of money, and then 6 months from now, the same person did all of the install, but he has another problem. Now you have to go back and find that problem. What this does is it just stops all that. A small leak on the system only when it's running really doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt anything. Obviously, if he gets a big blowout on it while it's running, then he's going to know it and you'll be able to see it and do something about it.